Hello, welcome to Do You Know? In today's video we are going to talk about the first person on Mars, Alyssa Carson. You might think that traveling to the moon was humanity's greatest achievement in space exploration, but what if I told you that sending humans to Mars is far more difficult than that? And what if I told you that the first person to set foot on Mars might just be someone who started dreaming about it before she was a teenager? Meet Alyssa Carson, the young astronaut in training with a passion for Mars that has inspired thousands around the world. The quest for Mars. Alyssa Carson's journey to Mars didn't start with a big rocket or a spacesuit. It started with a dream to be the first person to walk on Mars. But unlike the moon, where astronauts faced a few days of travel, Mars presents unique challenges that make it 10 times more difficult to land on. From the immense distance to Mars' hostile environment, it's not just a mission. It's a test of human endurance and ingenuity. The distance and time factor. While Alyssa is working towards her dream of reaching Mars, it's important to understand why the journey to the red planet is so challenging. Unlike the moon, which is about 384,400 kilometers away, Mars is about 225 million kilometers from Earth. That means a 6 to 9 month journey, and during this time, astronauts like Alyssa would face long periods of isolation and mental strain. Harsh conditions on Mars. Mars presents far more difficult conditions than the moon. While the moon's lack of atmosphere made it a challenge, Mars has a thin atmosphere made mostly of carbon dioxide, and surface temperatures can plummet to -195 degrees Fahrenheit. This means that anyone, including Alyssa, will need to rely on advanced technology to survive. Living on Mars isn't just about getting there, it's about staying alive. The need for self-sufficiency. For a long-term mission to Mars, astronauts like Alyssa will need to be completely self-sufficient. Mars doesn't have the resources we need, so technology like greenhouses, water extraction, and oxygen generation will be crucial. It's not just about survival, it's about creating a sustainable life on another planet. Alyssa is not just dreaming about walking on Mars, but about living there. The psychological challenge. The journey to Mars will test astronauts mentally in ways we've never seen before. Unlike the moon, where missions lasted only a few days, Mars missions will span months of isolation with limited communication. Alyssa, who has trained for this journey since she was a teenager, knows that the mental resilience required is as important as any technical skill. Rocket technology and the Mars mission. To travel to Mars, we need advanced rocket technology. Unlike the Apollo missions that took astronauts to the moon, Mars missions require larger and more powerful rockets capable of transporting astronauts and supplies over vast distances. Alyssa Carson's dream is part of a bigger vision, where rockets like SpaceX's Starship will carry the first crewed missions to Mars. The EDL challenge. Landing on Mars is no easy feat. The entry, descent, and landing (EDL) phase is critical and involves using parachutes, rockets, and even sky cranes to slow down the spacecraft and ensure a safe landing. Alyssa Carson and her fellow astronauts will be part of missions that perfect these techniques, taking human space exploration to new heights. Radiation protection and health. Mars lacks a magnetic field and thick atmosphere, meaning astronauts will face dangerous levels of radiation. This is one of the most critical aspects of Mars exploration. Radiation shielding and health monitoring will be vital to keep astronauts like Alyssa safe during their journey and stay on Mars. The first steps on Mars. When Alyssa Carson, or another astronaut, takes those first steps on Mars, it will be a monumental moment in human history. The red planet will no longer be a distant dream. Alyssa has dedicated her life to being part of that historic moment. But it's not just about the walk, it's about making Mars a second home for humanity. Legacy and inspiration. The first person to walk on Mars will leave a legacy far beyond their footsteps. Alyssa Carson's journey from a dreamer to an astronaut in training will inspire future generations of explorers. Mars is just the beginning, who knows where humanity will go next? The road to Mars. Alyssa Carson's dedication is a testament to the future of space exploration. She's not just training to be the first person to land on Mars, she's part of a global movement that will change the course of human history. With the collaboration of NASA, SpaceX, and other organizations, Mars is no longer a distant dream but an achievable goal. The role of robotics in Mars mission. While astronauts like Alyssa will be the first humans to set foot on Mars, robots and drones will play a crucial role in the exploration of the red planet. Robots are already being used to gather data and prepare for human missions. Rovers like Curiosity and Perseverance have made significant discoveries, but future robots will assist astronauts with everything from digging for water to building habitats. Alyssa and her team will work closely with these machines, training for the unknown. Before anyone can set foot on Mars, they have to undergo years of rigorous training. Alyssa Carson trains in simulated Mars environments, such as the Mars Desert Research Station and underwater habitats, where she faces many of the same challenges that would arise on the Red Planet. From physical fitness to crisis management, Alyssa must prepare for the unknown, understanding that Mars is a place where the first human colony. Alyssa Carson is not just training to be the first person to set foot on Mars, she is preparing for the possibility of being part of the first human colony. Establishing a permanent presence on Mars involves building habitats, growing food, and creating a self-sustaining society. Alyssa and her fellow astronauts could very well become the pioneers of a new chapter in human civilization, where living on another planet becomes part of humanity's future. Innovations in space technology. Mars missions require technological advancements beyond what we use today. From nuclear propulsion to advanced life support systems, technology is evolving at an incredible pace. Alyssa Carson is part of this cutting-edge world of innovation, working with scientists and engineers to create the tools and systems that will make Mars missions possible. Every innovation brings us one step closer to making Mars the next frontier for humanity. The final countdown, the first mission to Mars is drawing closer. The work of Alyssa Carson, NASA, SpaceX, and many others will soon culminate in humanity's greatest achievement. After years of preparation, the time will come when the world will witness the launch of a mission that will send the first humans to Mars. And when Alyssa Carson and her team finally touch down on the Red Planet, it will mark the beginning of a new era, one where the impossible becomes possible. Conclusion: the legacy of Mars exploration. Alyssa Carson is a beacon of hope for the future of space exploration. Her journey to Mars is not just a personal dream, it is part of humanity's story to reach beyond our planet and expand our horizons. One day, when we look up at the stars, we'll remember those like Alyssa, who dared to dream, trained relentlessly, and paved the way for future generations to explore the universe. And so, as humanity stands at the edge of a new frontier, the dream of setting foot on Mars is no longer just science fiction. For young pioneers like Alyssa Carson, it is a mission, a purpose that pushes the boundaries of what we believe is possible. The journey will be long, dangerous, and filled with the unknown. But that's how every great story begins. One day, a human will leave footprints in the red dust of Mars. And when they do, it won't just be a step for one person, it will be a leap for all of us. The future is waiting. Are you ready to So hit that subscribe button and like the video. Till the next time.